We land across the beach, proceed to the airfield, destroy an ammo dump, eliminate any remaining resistance, sit tight till our relief arrives. Any questions?
First off, Microsoft is now, I don't know if Microsoft, but apparently many of these activists, well, they're melting down because companies now dropping them. No, generally they are.
We've been calling out forced diversity initiatives in many industries over the past couple of years, and it finally looks like companies are sick and tired of losing money. They are admitting that it is no longer profitable, and there are activists within the video game and tech spaces that are melting down over this. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there are many outlets out there filled to the brim with people who constantly want a virtue signal, who constantly want to look like they are holier than thou, and PC Gamer is throwing a fit over this new information that Microsoft is dropping forced DEI initiatives, saying that they are going through a year of shame because of layoffs, because they're going back seemingly to merit-based hiring, and it doesn't look good.
Look, it doesn't matter you want to hire blacks, Hispanic, or anything. The question would be is that are you good at the job? I mean, take a look with the British Guard. Yes, the elite guard that guard the Queen and the King. That cannot be DEI. Otherwise, how are they going to protect the King? The British Guards were all elite people. Elite ones. Best of the best. I'm sure you know about the sinking ship over at Australia, I believe. A DEI officer managed to steer the ship and then sunk it. No, generally, it did happen. Ah, yes. A New Zealander, I believe it's called. I believe this is the one. 4.3 million to Samoa. That's an embarrassment. It was sank. This is the one, folks. This is why merit-based hiring should be a thing, okay?
For activists. It doesn't look good for the people who have forced themselves into this space. We are seeing some journalists leaving the industry, like Alyssa Mercante seemingly, and it looks like that's only going to continue to happen now that they are no longer really easily able to change this space. Gamers are more aware than ever. We are paying close attention to what is happening at these studios, and they are no longer able to go unnoticed, like Sweet Baby Inks, for example. Kim Belair said that she wanted Sweet Baby Ink to continue to operate in the shadows, but every single time a new game comes out from them or one of their consultant makes a statement, we are on that, like flies to honey, and it's hard for them to really operate in the shadows.
And also there will be AI coming, which I think Sweet Baby Inc doesn't like AI, because in my opinion, I think Sweet Baby Inc can either say something and get roasted by gamers, or don't say something. Yes, they'll be safe, but for how long? That's the real question. How long will they survive?
But PC Gamer put out this article titled Microsoft's Year of Shame. I'm not going to read this entire article, but they say Microsoft's leadership will no doubt point to the stock price as proof 2025 was a great year for the company. Call me crazy, but I feel like profiting while laying off talent, making your products materially worse, and firing your own employees for protesting your morally bankrupt deals with a bloodthirsty military is a bad look, actually. But get that bag. I guess now I am not sitting here and saying that Microsoft is doing wonders. I'm not sitting here saying Microsoft is an amazing company. I am not sitting here saying I support every single move they make, but ultimately, they are a company that is trying to make money and trying to increase their profits, and it's like PC Gamer is furious.
You know what? Here's the truth that will bitterly hurt you, PC gamers. You're not PC gamers. I win.
Studios cancel games and lays off thousands as Phil Spencer says the platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. Yeah, the reason why they're closing studios is because these studios suck, and the reason why they're laying off thousands of people is in part due to AI, but in part that these individuals are not talented enough to keep around. There's no reason to be paying people to sit on their asses and twiddle their thumbs all day. If you were trying harder, you would be more successful in this industry, but that's not what these people are doing. They are being hired due to DEI initiatives and not because of merits.
So here's the thing, folks. I think also many talented people already gone. Like, for example, the talented people that made Halo, Destiny 1, what else? The Call of Duty, and all that sort. All those talented people, they're gone, okay? No, there's nobody there. Just inexperienced people.
To go back to merit-based hiring if we want this industry to thrive again. Has it become passé yet, pointing out that the things executives say in their work messaging
Nope.
fall somewhere between detached from reality and outright deranged? I think you can see Spencer grappling with this in the memo he sent internally when he wrote, "I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions that we've made previously." I guess that's what I tried to tell myself as I closed the initiative and canceled Perfect Dark, binned Rare's Everwild, and a shooter being made by John Romero, an accident MMO that I apparently thought was awesome. Just some real tough decisions, super tough but necessary, no way around them. They are so mad that so many people in this industry right now are going through these times. And sure, I get that you might be frustrated, but at the same time, they are not looking at it through the lens of gamers either. What is the point to make a Perfect Dark remake if it's going to come out and it's going to be bad? What is the point to keep a studio like the Initiative around if they're not actually making games that are profitable?
I'll tell you why they don't want, because the people who don't make games, the only thing they do is complain a lot. And I think many of these Microsoft leadership knows this. When they complain a lot, nothing is gonna get done. I mean, the talented people, yes, there are talented individuals, but there are far and few between. Sometimes they have to do things alone, can't rely on others. We need merit-based hiring. Otherwise, we'll end up like this one. This one here, that sunk. It was sunk last year at Samoa. And guess what? The Navy, the New Zealanders, or in this case, New Zealand, pays Samoa millions after the naval ship crash. That was embarrassing, okay?
They talk about ending Windows 10 support with no upgrade path for hundreds of millions of PCs. And sure, I do, again, agree with this. I think that it is tough that they are, ultimately deciding to end Windows 10 support, and they're not making it easy for, I guess we'll just say, normies. But if you really pay attention to the terminology they're using and the way that they're voicing their unhappiness in the cases of AI and also Windows 10 support, this is not their big issue.
And also, I think I should add, which I'm gonna be doing this in my first channel, Sandfall Interactive was, I believe they were forced to apologize for using AI. Look, for Sandfall, I understand you had to do that. Look, to be honest, it's not your fault, okay? Listen, I played for 24 hours, okay? I didn't see any AI. You cannot bend the knee to the mob, okay? When you bend to the, look, Sandfall Interactive, when you bend the knee to these woke mobs, guess what? They saw your weakness, okay? Don't do that.
Just trying to fill in a few paragraphs so they can have a long article. Their major issue is with diversity and then
yes.
Xbox. They say Microsoft is hardly the only tech company to gleefully retreat from progressive policy decisions as soon as the Trump administration came back into power. But I cannot roll my eyes hard enough at the company saying it has evolved beyond the annual diversity and inclusion reports it's been publishing since 2019 to forms that are more dynamic and accessible, as reported by The Verge. They are mad that they are quote-unquote gleefully retreating from progressive policy decisions, but what did they do when Biden came into power? Oh, that's right. They changed their policy decisions. They changed their company mentality. This is what companies do. Like it or not, they don't give a fuck.
Veridar is right. Companies don't give a damn. How many people have lost their jobs? Not just mostly on Biden administration. How many? This is why we need merit-based hiring, okay? At least we're going back to there. But it takes some time to do so, okay? Look, you can have diversity in workplace, but understand, you have to make sure people can do their jobs, okay? Like, for example, in the Navy, you need the best of the best, okay? Look, you can hire diversity, but you have to find someone who has experience, okay? Look at this. They're going back to merit-based hiring, which is good.
They are companies that are trying to profit off of you. They just view you as a walking wallet. Of course, this is the case, and this is why you should not trust them. This is why nobody should idolize these companies, because they will turn their back on you if they think they can make more money off of a situation. It's just that plain simple. They never cared about your sexuality. They never cared about your race. They never cared about your politics really even either. They care about making money, and when
That's right.
something is not profitable, they will go in a different direction. We're even seeing Disney doing the same thing now.
That's right.
I don't believe Disney as much as I believe Microsoft, because Disney is actually creating a lot of content. Xbox is falling flat right now, though. Their mentality over at Disney is to appear to change when internally they're not. We know that just a couple of months ago they were hiring a DEI director for $250,000 a year, but they are dropping the term.
Where the hell did they get the money? No, generally, 250,000. I don't trust Microsoft or Disney. I'm gonna say they have an uphill battle to win back all the potential customers, okay? Because trust me, when the time Biden, or in this case, when DEI was at its peak, oh, so many customers were shooed away.
DEI director for $250,000 a year, but they are dropping the terminology, which makes it appear that they are changing. Why this person feels like they can write an article and not mention this is mind-boggling. Maybe they are so delusional that they actually thought that this company liked them and supported them and was some sort of ally, but if that's the case, they do deserve to be fired instantly because they are not smart enough to be writing an article. I suppose PC Gamer probably doesn't care though, because they just think that it's going to get them clicks. Now, they also talk about how the Xbox Series X can no longer even feign being competitive. Game Pass proves unsustainable despite Microsoft plowing $75 billion into Activision, but it really does seem that they wanted to write this article due to the diversity priorities, but they were like, oh, hey, we need to fill up some of the space here, and they are really being laughed at.
Correction, and I think the reason why they fill up because how much you want to bet they're using AI? They have no idea. Again, I'd say how much you want to bet that that article was written by AI?
I know Grums, aka Mark Kern, had posted PC Gamer admitted DEI is bad for profits. They knew all along and lied to you. And yeah, it's never been profitable. And the fact that they maybe thought that at one point is crazy. PC Gamer's admission really puts that knew all along into focus. Wild how long some narratives hold. Turns out people don't like paying for things they don't like. Video game companies, after making female characters look like female characters in 2025,
Okay, first, let's go back. I need to, sorry about the something wrong with I don't know if my headset, I hope you guys can hear it. Many companies, when they saw that they're losing money, they thought to themselves, okay, wait, why are we losing money? I thought this DI thing is working. It will get us more money. Why are we losing more money? Think about that. They knew immediately, the moment they lost their money, the DEI stuff, throw it out the trash. Throw it out the window.
Really puts that knew all along into focus. Wild how long some narratives hold. Turns out people don't like paying for things they don't like. Video game companies, after making female characters look like female characters in 2025, just give people what they've been asking for and you will make money. It's that simple. As I have said multiple times in many of my videos, DEI and entertainment was always going to fail. Why? Because you can't compel customers to buy things that they don't like. If you look at titles like Concord and Flintlock the Siege of Dawn and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, people turned away because of either live service or high price tags or ugly character designs. People are looking for a certain aesthetic.
And also, the people who make these games, they attack the customer and they say, oh, don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next product. Or better yet, in the case of Doctor Who says, if you don't like it, turn on the TV, touch grass. Or Battlefield 5, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. And what they do? They don't buy it. Simple. That's what happens.
Now, you also have, on the opposite side, titles like Tides of Annihilation having a lot of hype behind them. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers doing good. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 doing really phenomenal. Stellar Blade doing great. Why? Because they are high quality experiences that do not insult their player base, that do not give the players the finger if they say, oh, we want pretty looking characters. They have a wide variety of characters and classes and designs that people actually enjoy looking at.
And also, don't forget, Asian developers, they don't have the luxury to alienate their audience, okay? Number one, Asian developers will always follow their budget to the letter, okay? Once they got their budget, they think to themselves, how can we make a game, but at the same time, not waste our budget? They will always, which I think this is important, they will let the local market taste it first, and if the local market loves it, international market will love it too.
And again, they are high quality experiences.
That's right.
Seriously, check out their bridge program. They're not dropping it. They're only making you think they are. Yeah, this is what cultural Marxists do. They dig their claws into something. They completely destroy it. And then when they get called out, they hide. They're not actually getting rid of DEI. They're just rewording it. And they're trying to make you believe that they are getting rid of it. Why would they get rid of a program that they might need again in 3 years? Why would they completely undo this groundwork they've already laid? Now they are pushing out the anti-AI narrative, AWOL slop we are tired of hearing about. PC gamers trash, lame liars indeed. They pushed it hard, lame AF. DEI is a disaster to everything it infects, always has been. Politically correct gamer. I'm so glad I stopped buying that shit rag about a decade ago. They're probably not going to drop it completely, even though they know it's bad for profits. They're just rewording. So yeah, I think that this is absolutely hilarious to see the PC gamers of the industry starting to throw hissy fits, completely misunderstanding why companies like Microsoft are doing this or intentionally ignoring that fact. And sure, I don't think that we can trust the Microsofts and the Disneys, but they are seemingly making a change publicly, which of course is causing meltdown.
So far, shout out to Vera Dark. It's a lot I had to cut, but understand one thing. I really don't trust either Microsoft or Disney or even Sony. For Microsoft, I believe it is an uphill battle, okay? How many customers have they shooed away? That's the question. Gaining them back, good luck with that. I mean, seriously, I think from the jump, people should have known that DEI is not profitable. How do you think Bud Light ended up? Yes, losing millions. The brand, it's not even working. And what happened to Dylan Mulvaney? Gone. The Eastern developers, okay, they always have their budget and they follow it to the letter. And most importantly, their previous schedule, I don't know if they have it yet, they call the schedule of 996, okay? 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, okay? And rarely you see any of these Asian developers suffer the crunch. How come in America there's always a crunch culture, but in Asia there's rarely any? I would say this, for the Eastern developers, just improve your performance, that's it. Now for the indie and AA and Sandful Interactive, I understand you have no choice but to apologize, but listen, never ever apologize, okay? You apologize, woke journalists, they will come after you. They will hound you, okay? They saw your weakness, so never apologize.
Well done, Griffin. Now we got this airfield secured, we can get a foothold on this island and start pushing the Japanese back. We're through retreating, lad. America's back in this war.
The Marines, aided by U.S. soldiers and local inhabitants, were finally victorious. Later in the war, the Marines and their unique battle tactics would prove invaluable.